you're looking for some cheap entertainment, then you could do far worse than the incredibly quirky and cutesy racer Roadtrip. This is a localized version of the long-running Japanese Koryu series, following the trail of N64's Penny Racers and PS2's Gadget Racers. This world of adorable, super deformed talking cars features 100 different quests, utterly bizarre driving physics, and RPG elements mixed with some highly entertaining racing through a variety of unorthodox tracks. It may not be the sort of thing that's going to appeal to everyone, but for $9.99 there's no good reason to pass up on this excellently quirky game. With the summer rapidly approaching, it's time we got another serving of ball-thwacking sports entertainment. Tennis Masters Series 2003 delivers the opportunity to participate in the ATP's most prestigious tournaments, taking on the best tennis players in the world. You can take part in 9 faithfully reproduced Masters Series tournaments from around the globe. You also get 67 different players, each with their own skills and style, and each realistically modelled and motion captured with a range of different facial expressions and animations to really bring them to life. In fact, the only thing missing is the strawberries and cream. Continuing the super deformed budget range comes Seek and Destroy. Here you get to play one of over 100 cute and cuddly war machines, all modelled on actual tank designs and then squashed. Again, we have a curious mix of bizarre RPG mixed in with an entertaining tank combat game, along with the opportunity to personalise your tank to your heart's content. You can choose from several styles and outfit them with all sorts of super-powered weaponry, such as missile launchers and laser cannons, along with amphibious rigs and even aerial combat gear. And for your $9.99, you're getting a good variety of missions and a selection of mini-games and even a 2-player mode. What more could you ask for? Water sports games may have a bit of a choppy history, but it looks like the tide is turning, and Wakeboarding Unleashed featuring Sean Murray looks set to continue this trend. Wakeboarding offers an exhilarating combination of surfing and water skiing, as you're strapped to a board and hauled along behind a powerboat, pulling tricks off the waves created in the boat's wake. Thrilling, innovative, and obviously dangerous. As you'd expect, there's a lot of Tony Hawk-esque gameplay going on here, but there are some substantial differences as well. First up is the rope physics engine. Get your tow rope caught around something and your propulsion is going to be snatched right out of your hands, leaving you dead in the water until the boat swings around to pick you up. On the other hand, you can intentionally let go of the rope and use your momentum to head off on your own, grinding rails and exploring whole areas of the level where the boat can't go. Just be sure you can make it back to water before you run out of momentum. Each of the 9 levels has a wide range of objectives, challenges and gaps to discover, featuring plenty of bizarre tasks. In addition, there's a great feature that when you find a gap, you receive a key that will give you a clue to the next undiscovered hidden location. You'll also notice that there's no time limit here. Instead, you have the groove meter. This bar constantly diminishes and you'll have to pull off all sorts of impressive tricks to keep it topped up. Let it run out and it's game over. The multiplayer options also promise to be a lot of fun. There's a range of modes, making the most out of the boat-border relationship. Think of the fun to be had with one player trying to pull off stunts while his partner thrashes the powerboat around the place. You can hardly have missed the current craze of dancing games, and Konami's incredibly popular Dance Dance Revolution is finally making a concerted effort on PS2 in the form of Dancing Stage Megamix. Now we too can try our hands and feet at thrashing about in front of the TV while hoping no one is watching.
Tell me who wants to know what, when, who, where, or how you do your
Just in case you don't know, the aim of the game is to keep up with the beat by pressing the appropriate symbols as they reach the bar at the top of the screen. Done with a joypad, this is simply an exercise in timing, but it's really intended to be used with a dance mat.
Are you ready? Go toward the full combo.
Tell me, who do you think you see? You're standing in your corner.
This plastic mat plugs into your console in place of a gamepad, and then, as you jump about, it sends the information back to the game. Follow the symbols properly and you'll be dancing.
Tell me what you see when you look at me.
Go toward the full combo.
Obviously, this is extraordinarily energetic for a console game, and it's often used as a good way to fool yourself into exercising while having fun, as well as being one hell of a party game. There's a stack of modes to try, including a tutorial along with the standard arcade and workout modes. But the most important element of any dancing game is the music. Dancing Stage Megamix gives you 31 funky new tunes, including the Sugar Babes' Freak Like Me, Elvis vs JXK's A Little Less Conversation, and Kylie's Love at First Sight. You also get It Takes More from Miss Dynamite, along with the guaranteed classic One Step Closer by S Club Juniors.
You move smoothly.
Dancing Stage Megamix takes the rhythm action genre back to basics. The first of Sony's online games is finally getting released over here. Socom Navy SEALs is a 4-man tactical squad stealth simulation, putting you in charge of a covert team of the Navy's hardest recruits, infiltrating the most dangerous criminal organizations worldwide. Specifically, a Slavic terrorist organization called the Iron Brothers have caused enough trouble to convince the Special Operations Command that they all need to be quietly murdered. The twist is that you can use a broadband internet connection and the PS2 modem to play with people from anywhere in the world. And what's more, thanks to the bundled headset, you can actually speak with them. The headset plugs into the USB port on the PS2 and provides you with both a mic and headphones, allowing you to talk to your team or broadcast comments to all the players in the game. Perfect for those personal insults. You'll also need the headset in a single-player game. Intel and commands are relayed through it, and you can issue your own commands via the mic using the game's voice recognition system. But if you have a strong accent or just feel like a fool shouting at the console, then you can just use the menu selection option instead. Combined with the nice use of music and other audio effects, using a headset does a lot to create an impressive atmosphere. And there's plenty of military-issue hardware to keep things interesting too. More than capable of creating huge explosions and filling the air with spent ammo casings. Perfect for that stealth operation. Of course, there are still a few problems. It looks like June is the earliest we'll see the UK online policy from Sony, and the need for a broadband internet connection is going to stop many enjoying everything the game can offer. But hopefully, the single-player game will prove to have just as much potential for entertainment. Watch out for the upcoming review to find out. Billed in Japan as an intense gothic opera, Chaos Legion shares some of the style and atmosphere of games like Devil May Cry, combined with traditional old-school coin-op gameplay to produce an action-packed, adrenaline-pumping melee game. Returning from a dangerous mission, Master Swordsman Seek Farheight finds that his best friend, Victor Delacroix, has fallen foul of dark magics, which are slowly consuming his soul. Being the hero that he is, Farheight sets out on the trail of his friend, determined to stop him bringing chaos to the world. There are 13 levels to battle through, all filled with fantastic gothic scenery and packed full of fearsome creatures, foul bosses and other ruthless opponents. And in order to survive out there, you have your sword, along with the ability to summon magical legions to aid you in combat. There are 7 of these legions available in the game, and you can gradually gain access to them by completing the various boss battles. When you summon a legion, you switch into this special fighting system, allowing you to build formations and launch aggressive assaults on the opposition. Or alternatively, you can use them to carefully muster elaborate defenses. Available include Archer, Bomber, Shield, Sword, Power, Claw and Giant Legion, each of which has their own advantages, capable of tipping the tide of a battle when deployed effectively. Combination of tactical warfare and arcade melee promises to make Chaos Legion as entertaining as it is stylish, and Delacroix is soon going to have his work cut out for him.
忘れ物か。
あなただけは許さない。黙れ。
世界の破壊などシーラは望んじゃいないよ。
貴様に何がわかる。
私にもまだできることがある。
これも俺たちが招いた因果なのか。
幕を上げるとしよう。貴様に闇の深淵を見せてやる。
戦うことで俺の犯した罪が償えるのか。
聖者と歌われし男が闇に落ちた時、この物語は時を刻み始める。
俺は一人の女さえ守ることができなかった。シーラ、
あなたを救おうと思ったけれど、救われたのはきっと私の方ね。
In the 16 years of Final Fantasy games, we've been taken to nearly a dozen different settings and stories. But now, for the first time, we're getting a real sequel. Final Fantasy XII picks up the story begun in Final Fantasy X, revisiting old favourites and introducing whole new elements to keep things innovative and interesting. 2 years after Tidus and Yuna's quest to stop the omnipotent Sin, the land of Spyra has entered the eternal calm they were striving for. Now the people have turned away from the spiritual Yvonne and embraced the once hated people of Al Bhed and their Machina. Technology is advancing rapidly and a new age has dawned, the Machina Revolution. The world is at peace and the future is bright for everyone and everything, except for one girl. The summoner, Yuna, has grown lonely and melancholy since the loss of Tidus. So when she discovers a curious imaging sphere that shows Tidus being captured by an unseen force, she becomes determined to find her lost love and rescue him. And so she sets out upon a new quest, enlisting the help of her cousin Riku and a new face by the name of Pine. As Yuna and co make their way through the world collecting the spheres to learn more of Tidus's fate, they encounter numerous new and interesting characters, along with many of your old favourites. And then there's the dastardly LeBlanc gang, intent on hunting the spheres for their own reasons. Throughout the game, you'll only be able to play as the three main protagonists, Yuna, Riku and Pine. The main focus this time is on the job transformation system, based on the job wheel from Final Fantasy Tactics. Here you select different outfits and powers to give you an edge in battle, choosing between gunners, knights, white mages and dark mages, along with the more exotic gamblers, mascots, pop stars, dark warriors, magic gunners and more. You can also switch jobs mid-battle, opening up a wide range of tactics and strategies to be exploited. Add to that the usual excellent graphics, sound and storyline, along with a mountain of mini-games and side quests, and Final Fantasy XII promises to be just as formidable and entertaining as its predecessor, if not more so. ones to miss a trick, Acclaim is bringing beach volleyball entertainment to PS2. And given the attention given to Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball on Xbox, there's every reason to believe this sporting phenomenon is likely to be just as big a hit on our own console. Beach volleyball isn't quite the blatant skin fest that the Dead or Alive team produced, featuring instead 14 characters, including both genders. These sporting heroes each have their own attributes and statistics, and they're also cosmetically customizable, allowing you to alter their skin color, hairstyles, and clothing accessories to suit your taste. The heart of the game is Spring Break mode. This is where you meet people, uncover new features, and prove yourself to be the coolest person on the beach. The matches themselves are generally faster than those in Dead or Alive, and offer more maneuvers and options, and hence a more in-depth volleyball game. You also have the trajectory meter, showing the direction that the ball is travelling when hit. The other way to unlock more features is using the Super Spike system. Here you're rewarded for making excellent plays and other performance-based targets. In this way, it's possible to improve the characters with special moves, speed bonuses, and even the occasional secret. Beyond the Spring Break mode, you also get an arcade, exhibition, and tournament mode, as well as some entertaining mini-games. There's even a planned 4-player mode, teaming up for an exciting 2-on-2 match. Continuing Acclaim's excellent Extreme G racing range of games comes XGRA. This is the 4th title in the ever-popular high-octane racing series, and there's been a significant overhaul to the gameplay, bringing in a whole host of new elements. After the F1 Nürburgring disaster of 2025, the Extreme Gravity Racing Association, or XGRA, was set up as a regulatory governing body for all heavy gravity race events. This group is the future motorsports equivalent of the NASCAR or FIA, and its involvement has reshaped the Extreme G racing event considerably. First up among these changes is the new emphasis on the career and team aspects when competing in the circuits. Picking up some pointers from Toka Race Driver, you'll now be facing a more organised and complete career circuit, complete with deeper story elements such as transferring from team to team, personal rivalries, and betrayals of trust. There have also been some changes out on the tracks. The new circuits are wider and slower than the previous versions, although they still spawn many of the impossible designs that make Extreme G racing so popular. But it also allows a greater emphasis on the weaponry and battle tactics. And boy, is there an emphasis on weaponry and battle tactics. The tracks are even heavily destructible, allowing you to make use of your new toys in order to reshape the track to your advantage. Other new features include 6 brand new race types, dramatically improved crashes and player damage, varying weather conditions, and an exciting new power slide maneuver reminiscent of the stylish displays found in the Wipeout games. So with all of this going for it, there's plenty to make up for that loss in sheer velocity. Slam dunk the funk, folks. NBA Street Volume 2 is all about getting the ball into the net in the coolest way possible. But even if you can't stand the sport, stick around for the next 3 minutes anyway, you'll love this. Opting out of the rules-laden sim approach, EA Big has taken street basketball, grabbed the official NBA license, and made one of the best sports games on PS2.
You know what's good, don't dunk. Acquire a taste for the dunk.
Not only is this package heaving with 3-on-3 players, but they've somehow managed to wedge in 170 NBA stars too. Michael Jordan fans are treated to 3 varying paced versions of the best player ever. Plus there's the likes of Magic Johnson and a whole host of hoop-hammering heroes.
He just gave up his pocket change.
There are 2 ways to approach the action. NBA Challenge, which is all about taking on the NBA stars over different regions of the US. Or Be a Legend, which lets you create a player and start a street team, building up your rep and your skills as you go. One of the great elements of the first game was the Game Breakers feature. Max out your bar by pulling off combos and tricks, and you get the opportunity to set off a big set piece move, which raises your score and steals points from the other team.
Pass the peas, like they used to say.
Thanks to a few tweaks in the system, you can now bank your Game Breaker and try for another one, enabling a second, even more stunning move that can't be blocked no matter what. Other players can, of course, work out what you're up to, stealing your Game Breaker and making the whole effort meaningless. But the whole system is balanced out perfectly, providing just enough punch to alter the course of play without bending it out of shape completely. Annoying MC-style commentary aside, there's little to find fault with here. Perhaps a few more street legends would have been nice and the career mode could have been longer, but that's not a problem, as you'll be playing with your mates for ages. It's great looking and highly accessible. It's got game, baby. Music Generator 3 may not be a game in the usual sense, but if you want to exercise your artistic talents and create a cacophonic masterpiece, then there's no better place to start. It may have lost its MTV license and Codemasters is no longer involved, but this latest outing in the series promises more of just about everything. The warm-up act starts with a whole host of new knobs, sliders and other controls, providing more tweakage than anyone knows what to do with. You also get twice as many pre-recorded stock samples and a mixing desk capable of housing 64 tracks, rather than the previous 48. What's more, you now have 20 megabytes of space for a single track, 10 times more than in the last release. But the real showstopper has to be the USB microphone. This awesome device allows you to record your own voice, turn whistle tunes into real music, and most interestingly, nab samples from anything in your CD collection. That's assuming you contact the record company in person to seek written permission beforehand, of course. Of course, the big question with this sort of product is whether the artistically challenged can actually generate something more than the musical equivalent of the Tin Man falling into a stack of dustbins. Fortunately, Music Generator 3 comes with a vast manual telling you everything you've never wanted to know about music mixing. But if you can't bring yourself to read through that lot, then there are the handy interactive music lessons, providing a step-by-step introduction to reverb and harmonics in as painless a way as possible. All of this is supplemented with a collection of real tunes from the likes of Paul Oakenfold and Doves, kindly provided for your mutilating pleasure. And provided you can get to grips with the interface, you'll find this to be as versatile, intuitive and powerful an introduction to electronic music as you could possibly hope for. Our impression of this bizarre Japanese horse racing game was that it was designed for those with a fanatical love of horses or a fetish for staring at men's rears. But for the most part, G1 Jockey 3 plays like any other standard sport management game you care to think of. Assuming the role of a rookie jockey in the first year of competition, you'll be tasked with weekly appointments, negotiating rides, working out to stay fit, visiting the stables, and of course the racing itself at weekends. Amazingly enough, G1 Jockey 3 drops you in the saddle for the actual racing element instead of randomly generating the wins, and it's satisfyingly strategic once you get the hang of it. Whilst the controls are beautifully simple, the actual racing skills are incredibly difficult. Your horse only has so much stamina, so you need to pace the race well and time your final dash carefully. This isn't helped by the challenge of working out exactly where on the course you are, but at least the simple camera system provides a decent over-the-shoulder glimpse to help you stay ahead of the pack. There are thousands of horses to deal with, and there's even a multiplayer mode for added entertainment, but still, the whole thing becomes pretty boring rather quickly. With lots of static pictures, reams of text without any spoken dialogue, and some of the most grating lift music ever, it might be a great horse racing simulator once you get to grips with it, but the question is whether anyone actually wants to play a game like this anymore. Having picked up the official EPSN license, Sega's American football title delivers a great slice of the National League action, but it's certainly not for beginners.
Ready to get this one started. It's away.
Having used the license to good effect, Sega's gone for the big American TV show approach, crammed with top-notch animation, good-looking replays, and for once, a commentary that's actually quite insightful. But the gameplay itself is downright unforgiving, and unlike Sega's previous arcade-style sports outings, there's no room whatsoever for bodging your way through. Unless you're a seasoned pro, you'll be brought down in seconds.
And first play of the drive, let's see what they do.
Just like real American football, the strategy element needs to be perfected in order to succeed, and this offers a markedly different feel. The only downside to this heavy dose of realism is the lack of extras. There's not really much on offer apart from the ability to record your stats and post them on an official website.
Ball on the 20. It's now 2nd and 12. Now drops back. Throws. A 45. 40.
Chips this one in pretty easily. Right through.
He could kick those in his sleep.
And sometimes he does, from what I hear.
However, the inclusion of a fully fledged franchise mode should keep the few dedicated players among you happy. And you can while away the time assigning how many hours you want each scout to spend assessing each potential new recruit.
Arthur fades back. Throws. A 25.
If it's the crunch and smack of the sport you're after, then EA's Madden offers a more straightforward approach to the play. NFL 2K3 really is heavy on simulation, and unless you're a hardcore fan with a real incentive to play, it's too easy to get lost in the wealth of options and statistical differences.
That's a solid catch, but he isn't through.
No, it's like the completion is a fine sorbet. Cleanse.
This is NFL 2K3 on ESPN.
Heroes brings the gung-ho /happy entertainment of Dynasty Warriors to the younger generations. Developed by the same team, you can choose to play one of 4 characters as they battle their way through hordes of monstrous opponents. The story begins with a nice intro sequence, and then you're off to battle. And once you've hacked your way through the first wave, there's a whole new wave of fearsome enemies to confront, and then another, and another. While it may be enjoyable to just get back to some primal hack and slash, cutting critters down with swords and magic, the novelty doesn't take long to wear off, and it soon becomes more than slightly repetitive. The problem is that there's nothing to really break up the monotony of hacking up packs of rabid beasties. The story does little to justify most of the action, and while the graphics are perfectly serviceable, they're nothing particularly special. There are plenty of levels and game modes, but they're all fundamentally the same deal. At least Dynasty Warriors had the benefit of a deep historical storyline to break up the constant flow of action. Plus side, the split-screen 4-player mode is entertaining enough, and considering the amount of action taking place on the screen at once, there's barely any slowdown to impair the gameplay. The game is obviously aimed at the younger age range, but the lack of variety is still going to prove an issue. And with such a target audience in mind, the boss battles are surprisingly unforgiving. Odds are you'll tire of the gameplay long before you run out of game.
Have passed since the earthquake struck Tokyo. A mysterious golden palace has appeared in the center of the capital, and its appearance has brought creatures called Hellspawn into the city.
Forget the endless waffle about history, honor, and family loyalty. It's the real ninja business of killing things with your big red scarf wafting behind you that really counts. Shinobi is a pretty straightforward affair, really. You slice, dice, dash, and strategically double jump your way through a limited number of levels, killing some enemies, running along walls, and killing some more enemies in the hope that the exit will finally open up, allowing you to kill some more enemies in the next area. And despite these complex-looking moves, playing Shinobi is a cinch. Hatsuma, the sword-wielding hero, is more than a match for most of his adversaries, but when it comes to plummeting to his death, he's just as vulnerable as the next guy. You see, Shinobi makes a big feature of the bottomless pit concept, and one fatal mistake will send you right back to the start. And without any checkpoints to cushion the fall, you'll have to complete the whole level in one clean run. A tad harsh, perhaps, but at least it's guaranteed to hone those rusty and over-pampered platforming skills. Level bosses do provide a brief highlight to the proceedings, and thankfully our hero carries a number of special attacks, conveniently accessed by pressing L1 to make light work of these tricky situations. Overall, Shinobi is a bit of a disappointment and ignores its duty to push the ninja platforming genre in a new, exciting direction. The fighting is certainly good fun, but the platforming is far from it, with the tedium of having to play a level over and over again just to get that one elusive jump right. Fun at times, but in the end, it's just plain average. Whilst the whole dragon-flying approach of Savage Skies makes for a nice idea, it takes a special kind of failure to make a game that's really this bad. The battle between good and evil provides 3 factions to side with, but throwing the vast range of mythical beasts on offer is hardly a taxing task at the best of times. Once you've mastered the brief tutorial covering the basics of takeoff, landing and flying around for a bit in between, you can look forward to the main challenge of flying around whilst shooting at things. And you'd expect a decent challenge from the enemy targets themselves, surely? Well, unfortunately, that's not the case in Savage Skies. Ground targets are well and truly grounded and just sit there waiting to be picked off. And you'll soon get cheesed off with the aerial targets, which are just as easy to take down. Unless, of course, they decide to attack in vast swarms, in which case it all becomes way too challenging for comfort. Each mission provides a slightly engaging theme, such as a convoy escort, search and destroy, and the whole painful experience can be played out via the 2-player mode as well. Savage Skies is quite simply the pit, boring to play and dull to look at. There, we've said it. We can move along now to something more worthy of your spare time and hard-earned cash. Next!
The Pariah have mobilized. Whatever Mortelvis and the Pariah were planning, drive, Barg, towards your enemy with a volley of gold balls at medium range, and then switch to the gilded bread to coat them in flame.
The ancient Greco-Roman landscape was filled with many examples of magnificent architecture, but all that remains today are battered ruins, testament to a once great culture. This is mainly due to the ferocious vandalism perpetuated by Rygar on his legendary adventure. Rygar's need to demolish everything in sight stems from the fact that the Lord of Hell opened a portal to his backyard and kidnapped his girlfriend, an act that left him somewhat aggrieved. And to assist him in venting his displeasure, he wields the fabled disc armor, half shield, half yo-yo, all spinning blade of death kind of thing. This disc armor is the center of the game's action, proving its worth when exploring, solving the various simple puzzles, and most significantly, obliterating monsters. As you progress through the story, you'll discover 3 different versions of the disc armor. starting with the Hades variant and later the Heaven and Sea options. Each of them has a unique range of basic maneuvers and an impressive collection of combos. The disc armors also provide the power to summon fantastic allies to help your cause. Your initial Hades armor can summon forth the mighty Cerberus and his fireball-hurling party trick. Later you'll gain access to the Heaven armor and the Talos, a lightning-blasting titan, and the Sea armor with Siren, an ice maiden capable of launching a freezing cone of cold. The disc armor's final trick is to assist in exploration, and you'll learn new ways to use it to get around as you progress. This also opens up new options in areas you passed through before, a convenient feature since you'll find yourself doing more than a little backtracking. There are 7 diverse worlds to explore, all bedecked with pretty graphics, entertaining combat and impressive boss fights. The camera can prove to be a bit of a nuisance in some areas though, pulling out to a distant perspective to help navigation, but limiting your ability to see what's going on in the process. While Rygar isn't exactly groundbreaking, it's a solid and entertaining experience nonetheless, and one we'd heartily recommend to any budding yo-yo-tier.
Ready? Go!
Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution has slaughtered Tekken 4 in the Japanese arcades, and for good reason. It's just so good to play. And now it's finally here on PS2. Prepare.
Go!
Technically, VF4 Evolution isn't a proper sequel. 2 new characters have been added, which is pretty much standard for Virtua Fighter games. And there are quite a few additional moves for each of the returning characters, but few the average player would notice.
Hunting time!
Come on!
Ultimately, Quest Mode is the big attraction, but to be honest, it's somewhat disappointing. It may well be based on real Japanese arcades and feature enemy characters that utilize their styles, but all you actually do is play endless loops of match, challenger comes, match, challenger comes, match, over and over again, in exactly the same way as in standard VF4. The regular arcade tournament now also links into the item unlocking options by the addition of missions that pop up during an arcade tournament. These award you with cash upon reaching certain criteria within the game, and you can then pop back to Quest and spend the cash in the shop, where special items may be bought.
KO! Go!
It adds a little incentive to play through the arcade game with each character, thanks to the two-pronged assault of having to earn special items in the quest and winning enough cash to buy others. Many of the stages have seen changes, albeit minor ones. The aquarium has been closed for refurbishment and now looks totally different, and it rains outside on the Great Wall stage.
Yeah! Go!
Overall, VF4 Evolution is easily the best fighting game yet created. The changes over last year's PS2 version may only be slight, and there's not quite enough new stuff to recommend it to passing fans, but nevertheless, it's still an essential purchase for fighting fans. Buy it now.
I'm the winner! Go! Excellent!
Yeah!
KO!
The Destruction Derby series was always popular on PS1, right from its original appearance as a flagship launch title. But now the time has come for this exciting destruction racing extravaganza to make its way onto the PS2, in the form of Destruction Derby Arenas, and make the most of the increased power, graphics, and the new online capabilities. The first change of note is the appearance of a huge range of unlockable characters. These drivers now have distinct personalities, including their own taunts, background stories, and differing relationships with their opposition. And of course, they each have their own set of wheels. The cars themselves have moved on a bit from the battered stock cars and old bangers of yesteryear, evolving now into these larger-than-life American muscle cars, just raring to get out there and wreak havoc on the world of illegal underground racing. And as you'd hope, every one of them is completely customizable and destructible. The tracks, bowls and arenas have also received a considerable overhaul, each one sporting an imaginative theme and packed with incredible stunt possibilities, including ramps, loops and jumps. But the biggest new attraction has to be the online capability. Using PS2's broadband adapter, it's possible for 16 players to meet online and compete to destroy one another's customized cars, guaranteed to lead to some awesome battle fests and hours of lost time. But if you don't have access to the BBA, then you can still enjoy the multi-tap 4-player contests. And with all the arcade racing goodies to be found here, there's plenty of fun to be had for everyone. The developer of Metal Gear Solid has worked his genius once more, conjuring up more metallic warfare in a sequel that's bound to surpass all expectation. More enemies, bigger fights, new abilities, this sequel somehow tops it all, and if anything, the robots are even more detailed and faster than before. Massive shoals of flying enemies can be targeted and fired upon with relative ease. In fact, all we're doing here is bashing away at the square button. It might look insanely hectic, but it's easier to control than it looks. The boss battles have been ramped up too, with a number of super powerful entities waiting to melt down your steely good guy. There's an epic struggle with the constantly transforming Vic Viper, a sleek-looking fellow who never chickens out of a fight and can't be fooled at close range either. And a number of testing encounters with the pesky Viola. Just as well then, the developer included a continue option, as you'd be shafted without one. The overall action is tied together nicely with some welcome variations to the mission structures. In one instance, you'll have to save Taper, a UNSF-type soldier. He'll drop hints as to where he's hiding, and it's your job to seek him out and carry him to safety, engaging the unavoidable swarm of raptors, mummy heads and cyclopses in your dash for the emergency exit. But by far the most impressive-looking task is this gripe with the local rail authority. It's possible to fight so hard here that Tahiti all but disappears in the clouds of vaporizing metal and toxic fumes, with enemies attacking from all directions. It really is complete chaos, and all the more enjoyable for it. It's a stunning spectacle overall, and hopefully it will be somewhat longer too when it finally makes an appearance. The original Zone of Enders clocked in at a woeful 10 hours of entertainment, but this promises more with a number of VR missions and a revised 2-player mode to add some much-needed longevity.
PPR 反応阻止。バッター撃破。
Slicing up raging samurai demons is your cup of tea, then take a look at this. Onimusha 2 was the perfect example of hack and slashery in feudal Japan, but Capcom's latest effort drops the legendary Onimusha warrior Samanusuke into modern-day France, transformed into a foul soup of demon activity. Courageously defending his own time period is top Frenchman Jean Renaud, legendary professional and silent assassin of Léon fame, who plays Jacques Blanc in this dual hero-based adventure. This odd coupling not only promises a deeper storyline, but also endless ways to enjoy the fighting, with Jacques' own brand of 20th century cleaning providing a much-needed contrast to Samanusuke's oriental sword-waving. And what's more, if you're quick enough, you'll notice Jacques wearing what appears to be the Ogre Gauntlet. Could this be the main tie-in between him and Samanusuke? Who knows? We'll have more soon.
Transcending history and the world, a tale of souls and swords, eternally retold.
Welcome back to the stage of history. Soul Calibur 2 follows on from the destruction of the evil blade Soul Edge at the end of the previous game. And with 13 main characters and numerous hidden combatants, there are plenty of heroes and villains looking to get their hands on it once more. Besides the 13 main characters, there are numerous hidden fighters within Soul Calibur 2, and one of these is distinct to each console. Whereas Xbox and GameCube have Spawn and Link, we're being treated to Heihachi Mishima, the fast-hitting boss character from the ever-popular Tekken series. Let's hope he receives a warm welcome to the stage of history.
You have to understand, we thought Bobby was going to a school for the gifted.
Bobby is gifted. You should see what he can do. Have you tried not being a mutant?
Since the discovery of their existence, mutants have been regarded with fear, suspicion, often hatred.
Drop the knives and put your hands in the air.
I can't. Are they the next link in the evolutionary chain? Or simply a new species of humanity fighting for their share of the world?
What do you need, William? Just your authorization for a special operation, Mr. President.
We've managed to gather evidence of a mutant training facility in upstate New York.
This facility is a school.
Sure it is. Nobody really knows how many even exist, or how to find them, except you. Who are you?
I keep feeling something terrible is about to happen.
I would never let anything happen to you.
It's about to get very cold in here.
I need you to read my mind.
Sometimes the mind needs to discover things for itself.
They say you're the bad guy.
Is that what they said? What a talent you have there.
Most people will never know anything beyond what they see.
I have faith in you.
The next time you feel like showing off, don't.
I used to think you were one of a kind, Wolverine. I was wrong.
What you should learn, and learn it well. Nothing is what it seems.
His job was to recruit the best.
I would like to welcome you here to the CIA Special Training Facility. Those of you who do graduate will be official cover operatives.
And then he found someone who was perfect.
You graduated top of your class at MIT. You're agile, athletic. I am recruiting you.
Would I have to kill anyone?
Would you like to?
He will train him.
Nintendo.
He will push him.
Reach the parking lot with an asset who intends to have sex with you.
You want us to pick up a girl?
5, actually.
Looking good?
Thanks.
He will challenge him.
Rule number 1. Do not get caught.
I love this part.
Go! Yes! I am a scary judge of talent.
And he will bring him into a secret world.
Welcome to CIA.
Where nothing is what it seems.
This is what you trained for. This is the job.
Layla?
She's a mole, James.
More mind games.
Well, no, school's out.
Now.
You trying to manipulate me?
Maybe.
It's working.
Why me? She trusts you, loves you, maybe? You're gonna take that love and you're gonna use it to find out who she's working for.
Your training. Do you think it changes you?
Sure. Every person I meet is a possible mark.
If you are compromised, you're dead.
Al Pacino.
Move now.
Colin Farrell.
She knows I'm suspect.
Bridget Moynihan.
You think this is a game, James?
I think it's a test.
The only thing more dangerous.
I'm sorry, this is no test.
Everything is a test!
Than crossing the line.
I don't know why you turned. I don't care why you turned.
James, I didn't turn, you did!
Is trusting the man who took you there.
What the hell is going on, Brooke?
Everything is a test.
The Recruit.
Nothing is what it seems.
When the crime of the century brings two nations to the brink of war, the world must turn to two living legends.
I read about these guys. They're supposed to like yell at them, try to make faces at them, but they'll never move a muscle. Here, watch this. That is the biggest damn beaver I have ever seen.
Roy, stop it.
Hey, look, the queen. She's mooning us.
America's favorite heroes
Hello, ladies.
are together again.
My father's been killed. My sister followed the murderer to London.
Let me see if I can get the facts straight. You have a sister?
Introduce me. If you break her heart, I break your legs.
That's fair.
The best in the West are going to show the old world some new tricks.
I call that one my Kung Pao chicken.
I want these men bound. I can already see the headlines. Royal family eliminated.
Yeah. Come on! What in our history together makes you think I'm capable of something like that?
You think you're so cool with your karate?
You do that again, and you're a dead man. It was his idea.
Shanghai Knights.
I look like a fool.
You have to open your mind to other cultures. This country blows. Yeah.
You can't see me being a father?
No. Well, I could see you fathering children. I couldn't see you raising any.
I would raise my own chalupas.
Well, we're definitely not having any kids together if you're going to be calling them chalupas.
It's probably your mother.
You have the worst timing ever.
Montgomery broken in? I'm Agent Flood with the Drug Enforcement Administration.
Everything's gotten so strange, Pop. The only people I trust are you and guys I grew up with.
What do we say to him?
We'll say nothing. He's going to hell for 7 years. What am I going to do, wish him luck? Champagne for my real friends, and real pain for my sham friends.
Can't believe you brought my student in here.
I mean, you haven't done anything wrong yet.
What do you mean yet?
She's the only girl I've ever kept fantasizing about after I slept with her. Is that normal?
That's a pretty good kind of normal.
We haven't talked about this at all. You know, this is our last night.
No, it's not our last night. My last night.
I watched him ruin his life. The last 10 years, I've been watching him get deeper and deeper.
I look at these people around me and I'm thinking, these are my friends? Dude, I don't even know these people.
He doesn't trust me.
What reason does he have not to trust you?
I got one idea, but I need a big favor from you. Now, if he runs, he's gone. He ain't coming home. If he pulls the trigger, they close the casket. They lock him away, he's gone. You'll never see him again.
Stay with me.
No, I gotta do one more little thing.
Years from now, you gather your family together, you tell them the whole story. Who you are, and where you come from. And then you ask them if they know how lucky they are to be there.
This will be the best night of my life. Best night of my life.
Experience a whole new mutation.
We're not what you think.
With the all-new X-Men 1.5 2-disc Extreme Edition DVD of the original film. Upgrade your DVD collection and explore over 5 hours of never-before-seen extras using the latest DVD technology.
But I've never seen anything like this before.
Including the all-new Concept X Extended Viewing Mode. Multi-angled scenes. A new production documentary. Director commentary, and be the first to get a sneak peek at X-Men 2. Only when you buy the X-Men 1.5 2-disc Extreme Edition, the DVD with superpowers. Go see X-Men 2, only in cinemas May 1st.
Welcome to the future.
just didn't move fast enough.
That's the car I want, Dad. When something's right, you gotta close your eyes, grit your teeth, and hang on.
Until he discovered...
Let's just say that it were possible to accelerate your molecular structure until the rest of the world seemed as if it were standing still.
Hyper time.
Whoa.
What if you had the power...
Hey, Francesca!
No. Way. ...to stop the clock?
How did you do that?
I have no idea. I just pushed this button.
So, your watch stops time?
No. Look, it's moving. I don't think time has stopped. I think we're just moving really fast.
Zach, man, your watch is off the hook. What we gonna do next? Oh, Zach, yeah, that's funny, Zach. That's real funny.
What if there was someone...
Have a nice day, Henry Gabe.
My dad consults on all these super secret projects. I sent him a watch.
You idiot! Who'd do anything to get it back?
I want that watch.
What if the future...
What is going on?
You're running around with something that's not supposed to exist.
...was in your hands?
I'm officially freaked out now.
Now, give me the watch or your hottie here gets it.
Limber.
This spring...
There's gotta be something we can do to stop them.
We... don't start.
Well, you heard the man. Let's go.
We got a problem. The kid is doing something freaky.
Let's go. Don't wait.
What you can't stop.
Zach, what are you doing? Finishing what I came here to do.
There's that woman who's always giving me parking tickets.
Oh, we're perfect. Come on.
No.
Clock stoppers. Freeze the future.
Open fire! Halt! Freeze.
The die-hard Dynasty Warriors fanbase is a curious breed of gamers. Just mention the name Dynasty Warriors 4 and the collective moaning about deteriorated fighting mechanics, slowed down pace and a general lack of replayability compared to Dynasty Warriors 3 is simply ear-torturing. And whilst the dissenters do have a point when it comes to the finer points of maxing out and levelling up your vital statistics, we think they're being slightly oversensitive about the whole thing. Dynasty Warriors 2, for instance, was mental, wholesale slaughter on an epic level. The third outing delivered a remarkable fighting experience too, despite its considerable lack of depth. And now we have Dynasty Warriors 4, and it appears to be shaping up very nicely indeed. The brawling still takes place on a remarkable scale, with a total of 50 unique stages promised, although each one seems to have been reduced in size a bit. The combo system has been tweaked in a few places, accommodating a wider range of moves and a new experience element, allowing you to upgrade your weapons once you've butchered enough enemies. There's also the promising addition of siege weapons like cannons and battering rams. but unfortunately these cannot be manned directly and only serve as a means of protection against the advancing hordes. There are even 2 new game modes to get excited about as well. Campaign mode allows you to select a character and travel through predetermined paths in a somewhat linear story-based battle. And Kingdom mode provides a more open-ended adventure. Dynasty Warriors 4 doesn't appear to revolutionize anything from the previous installment. Star Ocean Till the End of Time is undoubtedly the next high-profile RPG to wing its way over from Japan. And with the news that developer Enix are set to merge with Square to form one giant super developer, the future is looking bright for quality RPGs. Events have barreled along some 400-odd years since the previous second story title, and Till the End of Time follows the saga of Fate and his childhood sweetheart Sophia, who are preparing for a family holiday on a picturesque Federation-protected planet. But the relaxing atmosphere doesn't last long, and the planet comes under heavy attack from invading foreigners. Fate's parents are lost, and the action now begins. One of the major gripes surrounding Second Story was the battle system itself, but Till the End of Time's turn-based system looks pretty solid so far, and fans of the previous incarnation will find the fast-paced action approach a familiar experience. Party members can move freely around the battlefield, making position important when dealing with enemies, and it's now possible to swap them about during battle in a similar vein to Final Fantasy X. No UK release date has been announced so far, but considering that Till the End of Time will be a major title for Enix, it should hopefully arrive later this year.
Dr. Muto! Who's your doctor?
Very nice. Excellent. What are you doing, Dr. Muto? I'm the producer. I'll fire you right. I am actually the senior producer inside of Midway Games West. My job is actually running the development team who makes Dr. Muto. Game designers work really, really hard for a living. They work a lot harder than most people. The game itself is designed to have a bit of a wacky sense to it. Obviously, you look at him as a mad scientist. He's kind of the mismatched socks. This tie has kind of a goofy look. Doesn't look like he's very well kept, so he's a bit of an insane person.
That's gratitude for you.
I think the thing I'm most proud of about this game is the concept in general.
Something's screwing up.
Stig is the world builder on the lab level, and we're going to be reviewing it so that we can finish this up for our project.
What are those things?
That's strange.
I guess I made a mistake.
What happened?
We'll be back after these messages.
Crap.
We wanted to base worlds based on the models that we had from morphing characters. So what we did is we took each world and we said, okay, this is going to be the walking world, this is going to be the swimming world, this is going to be the flying world, this is going to be the jungle world for climbing character. We find that by creating these worlds and theming them out that way, the artists are able to continue along that vision and get the game levels done faster because they have an idea for the characters they're going to be running around in the world. I'm most proud of Dr. Muto, the character.
We're recording the magnificently talented Wally Fields.
Wally Fields, Wally's Weird Voices.
Man of many voices and master of all.
We need all the isotopes you can find and any DNA you can harvest from the native fauna.
I don't know why, but I identify with bespectacled mad scientists with weird hairstyles. Don't ask me why.
Yeah, to me, morphing was really the key aspect of the game. And so the first thing that I did was, go off and do the guppy and swim around and say, yeah, that was fun swimming. Or do the horsefly and say, yeah, that was fun flying around as a horsefly. Or doing the spider and saying, wow, this is really unique. That's something that's never been done before.
There you go. Crap.
Dr. Muto has actually been a really fun character to work with. So very expressive. We've been able to build a rig that's pretty complex, has a lot of emotion to it, something that's very expressive. So it's been a lot of fun to work on.
Interdimensional relay unit.
No, I can't think of anything else I'd rather be doing than creating video games right now. That's not true. I'd rather be running a strip club if I had to do something.
I'd probably be mopping floors at Scott's strip club.
I'd be a stripper in Scott's strip club.
Dr. Muto lived on planet Midway, where things were getting bad, or so they say. Dr. Muto tried to create his own power, so Midway wouldn't have to be charged by the hour. Now Midway was starting to get in a jam, but when Muto turned it on, Midway went kablam! Dr. Muto, the mad scientist, he's Dr. Muto, and he ain't never been kissed. He's Dr. Muto, and now his rep has been dissed.
Excellent.
Bored of tinkering with your Skyline's muffler and fiddling with your Subaru's ride height, the long-awaited arrival of GT Concept will give your garage a hefty injection of European style. Featuring car models only previously seen in the dreams of the world's best designers, this new version of the ultimate driving game showcases the future of driving desirability. These cars usually never make it further than the stands at the Tokyo and Geneva car shows, but now you get to put the sexiest cars on the planet through their paces. The more exotic garage fillers include Suzuki's bike engine GSX R4, but perhaps the most outlandish motor from the 51 car strong selection has to be the Toyota Pod. This freaky looking bubble car comes complete with its own miniature circuit and bizarre sub-race. The venues are restricted to forward and reverse versions of the Tokyo, Midfield, Swiss Alps and Tahiti Maze courses, but benefit from a new addition, the Autumn Ring from GT1 and 2. Each needs to be unlocked with a suitable lap time before you can start acquiring your dream motors in a single race mode. There's also a heap of rewards to be gained, including movies, an ace difficulty setting, and a whopping 1 billion credit memory card save for GT3. Turismo 3 still remains one of the most gorgeous visual feasts on any console, and GT Concept only reinforces its all-consuming brilliance. But unless you're a hardcore fan of the series, desperately looking for more of the same, you'd probably be better off saving for the inevitable sequel. Final Fantasy X remains one of the finest moments in console RPG history. So buy it now for the bargain price of 20 quid and say goodbye to your social life until Final Fantasy XII finally gets here. The whole theme for this outing is maturity. Gone are the moody, teenaged, angst-ridden storylines, and we're instead treated to themes of travel, self-discovery, religion, cultural divide, and self-sacrifice, all provided in a refreshingly non-self-conscious manner.
You will hurt no one.
Each of the major protagonists has been impressively fleshed out, with a complete backstoryline, personality, and some gorgeous graphics. And with the new combat system allowing you to switch teammates in and out as you see fit, you get a much stronger feeling of camaraderie than in previous games. The environments are varied and absolutely stunning, and the sound is just as good, with almost every character having their own voice, although they do suffer from the traditional and irritating dubbing from Japanese lip sync and Americanization problems. The experience system also has received an overhaul. You now move an avatar along various paths in order to unlock the special abilities at each stage. There are numerous routes to take, and plotting your progress is an important part of the game strategy. Final Fantasy X is pretty damn perfect. The shoddy PAL conversion is disappointing, leaving annoying borders and a jerky frame rate, and we advise you to play it in widescreen if you can. And then there's the drawback that comes from such elegant scripting, the feeling of linearity. But with everything else going on, you'll hardly notice.
It all begins here.
Something is terribly wrong at the Hive, a secret underground bioengineering lab owned by the Umbrella Corporation.
What's the problem? The doors won't open. What about the ones at the back?
Locked as well. A prototype virus has been let loose that infects and mutates human DNA.
What is that?
It's nothing. Fire drill.
The computerized security system is taking steps to contain the incident.
We have to get out of here.
And that's just the beginning of a deadly mission.
What's going on?
5 hours ago, Red Queen went homicide. Sealed the Hive and killed everyone down here.
Who's the Red Queen?
State-of-the-art artificial intelligence. She's the computer that controls the Hive. My team was dispatched to shut her down.
We've reached the Hive.
We're trying to make a movie that's a great Resident Evil movie for the fans, and I count myself as one of those. I'm a big fan of the game. But also we're trying to make a really great horror movie.
U.S. security operatives placed there to protect.
2 security agents and an elite team of commandos must disable the computer before it seals the Hive forever. With the team inside.
Everyone stay calm.
But the Hive is home to other things.
What's that?
Things that want out.
What about the T-virus?
This is where they kept the T-virus.
The T-virus reanimates the body.
It brings the dead back to life.
Not fully. The subjects are driven by the basest of impulses.
Which is?
The need to feed.
It's pretty obvious what they are. Those people used to work here.
All the people working here are dead.
That isn't stopping them from walking around.
Based on the enormously popular video game, Resident Evil is a battle between the living and the undead.
I love how it's just empty, and then you'll turn a corridor and suddenly be attacked by all these zombies, and it's something about that really I just found exciting.
Keep moving. That message will hold.
I mean, it's like being a kid and playing Commando. Only thing you never had the realistic toys, like, you know, machine guns with dummy bullets in them and, you know, crazy little gadgets and gears that you get to, you know, put on. And it really does give you this intense feel.
It's the stuff that real nightmares are made of. That's what I'm excited about between the zombies and the creatures. It's gonna cause a lot of bad dreams for a whole new generation.
You know, there's a huge genre in the late 70s, early 80s, and is one of the few genres that Hollywood hasn't reinvented recently.
Right.
It was really something which we put in our office and started to play the game. And then eventually, you know, I understood that's a really great game for a horror action piece.
We started out with the actors doing commando training, which is a military form of training, how to take over a building.
Report.
We also taught them climbing, because throughout the movie they have to climb excess tunnels.
Kaplan!
We did also martial arts with the actors, variation from Taekwondo and American Karate, with actors like Mila. She had extensive martial arts.
Hitting him.
One of the things I've been on at Paul all the time is to really explain to us exactly what the audience are going to be seeing here. Because obviously we've been doing a lot of stuff, blue screen stuff, and stuff which we know is going to be computer generated afterwards.
Most audiences know when they're watching a visual effect. They may not be able to put their finger on exactly what it is, but they know. And that's fine if you're making a fantasy action adventure, it doesn't matter. If you're making horror, I think horror is scary the realer it is, the more you believe in it.
Welcome to the new stage of history.
Begone, you scum!
Battle 1. Fight!
Pretentious little bug.
Astaroth is an artificial creation, a golem who once died and has since been returned to a semblance of life by the war god Ares. Now in the service of Ares and more powerful than ever, Astaroth is driven to retrieve Soul Edge and return it to his master no matter the cost. The gargantuan Astaroth practices the Galukas fighting style, which basically comes down to flattening people with his huge axe. He may not be the fastest warrior in the arena, but if one of those crushing attacks should land on you, then you'll know about it. Many of his attacks are unblockable, so defensive opponents are bound to get hurt sooner or later. The only hope of stopping this thing is to take advantage of his slow movement and awkward bulk.
Welcome to the new
Battle 1. Fight!
After the destruction of Soul Edge, Killick was finally able to settle down to a life of quiet contemplation. But after 4 years, he sensed the presence of the sword's evil once more. He now intends to collect the fragments of the blade and nullify its power by absorbing their energy into his staff. As a student of the Lingshan Su-style Rod School of Combat, Killick has access to an impressive array of long-range rapid attacks. Combine these surprisingly damaging attacks with his new acrobatic moves, and this star fighter can prove to be an extremely dangerous opponent.
Master, I won't let you down.
Welcome to the
You're all the same. 1. Fight!
Following his climactic battle with Astaroth and subsequent paralysis, Maxi soon adapted to a more peaceful lifestyle. But rumours of the Golem's resurrection have rekindled the passion within him. Allowing himself to be healed by a mysterious fragment of metal, he's embarked once more on his personal vendetta. Maxi is a proponent of the Shisen Kalihadi School of Combat, wielding stylish nunchaku and impersonating Elvis. His repertoire has increased impressively since his last outing, providing plenty of dodge attack moves which make him especially deadly against opponents relying heavily on vertical strikes. And this evasive prowess combined with his long-range attacks would make him an impossible target if it weren't for his over-aggressive nature.
This is... How could I have forgotten?
Welcome to
Battle 1. Fight! Die! Die!
When the train of Soul Edge went cold, Mitsurugi Haishiro sought once more to find a means to stem the rise of gunpowder. However, with his travels leading him steadily east, he happened to stumble across a fragment of the shattered blade. But despite his determination to solve the mystery of the sword, he soon found himself caught up in rumors of war around the Ming frontier. Mitsurugi's Tenchu Kosai Ryo style has only grown stronger during his travels. He still has 2 different fighting stances, bringing a nice range of solid, versatile, offensive moves with plenty of reach and speed. This makes him a nicely balanced warrior and a definite challenge to outmaneuver.
Ready? You win! Come back when you're ready.
Welcome to the
Battle 2. Fight!
Taki originally hunted Soul Edge in an effort to destroy her own cursed sword, Mekimaru. But having failed to get to the blade in time, she learned to control the sword herself. Now she's faced with a further evil. Agents from her own ninja clan, following a master who has become obsessed with the fragments of Soul Edge.
Stay down! No use!
Taki's ninja training comes from the Musobato Ryo school and features an arsenal of blindingly fast attacks. While these attacks may not be quite as devastating as they have been in the past, she does get to supplement her repertoire with a couple of vicious new throws, meaning that Taki is still not a lady to mess with.
You win!
Destroy!
Welcome to the
Fight!
After the destruction of Soul Edge, Voldo went back to his job at the Money Pit, where life was good for him. But when a visitor arrives with a mysterious metal fragment, his mind echoes with the power of the blade once more. Realizing that the sword still exists, he sets out to search for it yet again, following the final wish of his long-dead master. Voldo uses a fighting style all of his own, compensating for his lack of sight and hearing. Possibly more flexible than when we last saw him, his moves remain just as creepy as ever. And this lanky freak is more than ready to demonstrate just how lethal he can be with the blades attached to his hands.